What's up, PSBL Omega Tech here, coach of the Tampa Bay Infernaps, and I'm going to bring you my Week 5 match versus Mike, coach of the New York Muse. This is his team right here. And so what I decided to bring in this game was the Arceus Ghost, a little bulky Arceus Ghost, enough speed to outspeed, max speed to Mega Metagross to hit it with a Judgment. Stealth Rocks, Judgment, Recover, Ice Beam. I didn't really need an offensive Arceus Ghost this week. Judgment hits everything really hard. Ice Beam hits the Zygarde hard. And I needed a defensive switch in to a bunch of stuff. So I made my Arceus bulky this week. Next up we have my Protean Greninja. HP Fire for the Ferrothorn. The Ground EMZ Dig for the Tentacruel, which I'm sure he's going to bring. Mike likes to spread a lot of status and set a lot of hazards up, and so I'm thinking he's going to bring that for Rapid Spin and for setting up hazards himself. Ground EMZ Dig will catch him off guard. I have the spikes to set up my own hazards once I KO Tentacruel, and then Dark Pulse to hit really everything, the Mew, the Metagross, the Blacephalon, hit everything really hard. And HP Fire over Ice Beam because I imagine myself in against Ferrothorn more than I do against Zygarde, and yeah, that should be fine. Scarf Terrakion, standard set, Iron Head for the Silvally. Nothing really needed to explain here. I wanted to outspeed and set up hazards to hit him for super effective fighting damage. He doesn't have that much of a switch in besides maybe bulky Mew and the Sylveon, which I have Iron Head for, and the Stone Edge also hits it hard. And so I have Terrakion. I also have Scarf Heatran. He's really weak to the combination Stab, Steel, and Fire, and the Earth Power would be for the Tentacruel in case I don't kill it with anything, and the Blacephalon. But I decided to Scarf it so I can spam Fire moves and Steel moves against him. I'm pretty sure he's going to bring Sylveon as well. Next up we have Tapu Bulu, especially defensive Tapu Bulu with max HP. This is really a backup switch in to Ash Greninja. In case he doesn't have Gunk Shot, it'll just wall it pretty good. Leech Seed, Substitute, Taunt for the Ferrothorn and for his slower walls that try to status or anything, and Nature's Madness for those walls as well. And then last up, AV Drapion. Figured he'd bring Toxic Spikes. And also, this is my primary switch into Ash Greninja, as AV Drapion doesn't take that much damage for it, and it can attack back with an Earthquake. Knock off for all of the Ghost and Dark Weak Mons he has, Fire Fang for the Ferrothorn, Poison Jab for the Sylveon. Alright, let's go to the match here. Pretty much what I expected him to bring except for the Sock. Don't really know what the Sock is going to be doing, but we'll see how the match went. I decided to lead with my Bulu. It's a good overall switch into everything. And I didn't want to lead with my Arceus for Rocks in case he led with Greninja. So I just went with the Bulu, and he leads with the Sock. Predicting the Poison Jab or anything that's like that, I'm going to go into my switch in, which is Arceus, as he reveals the Toxic. And he switches out as I get the Rock set up. He goes into Tentacruel. He can't spin them since I'm a Ghost type, but he'll set up his spikes of his own. As I go into Greninja to potentially scare him out into thinking that I might have Z-Dig, but so I knew he would switch, but I will go for the spikes instead, so maybe later he'll think I don't have Z-Dig. I just wanted to set up the hazards of myself. As I go into Drapion to get rid of the Toxic Spikes as he knocks off, which is really annoying because I don't have that much of a switch into Ash Greninja anymore. But I go for the Fire Fang just to save Fire Fang, predicting the Ferrothorn to stay in. But he goes into Tentacruel, and I see that's Rocky Helmet, which is really interesting. So I just go into my Greninja as he rapid spins. I could have went into my Arceus, but to block it, but Judgment isn't going to do that much damage. So now I see an opportunity where he's probably going to stay in, thinking I don't have Z-Ground, but I do have Z-Ground, and that'll be a knockout. easy knockout. I immediately thought he was going to stay in, so I just went for the Z ground right there. As he goes into sock, as I have a sock switch in, perfect sock switch in was his RC's Ghost. So this is a perfect opportunity to set up my rocks. As he goes into Ash Greninja, my primary switch is to Drapion. Even without the AV, it doesn't do that much damage. And I see this 16% Dark Pulse right here, and I calc it, and it doesn't seem like he has that much special attack investment. The calc might be wrong, but that's what I was calcing. And so I think he might have Gunk Shot, or he might be physical with Dark Pulse or something. As I go for the knockoff, he switches to Zygarde. I go to my RC as Ghost as he goes for the substitute. Now, him going for the substitute makes me think that he's sub 2 attacks coil or sub coil sub glare or something like that. As I go for this, breaking the sub and then go for the recover as he switches into Greninja. So now I'm going to go into Bulu because Drapion's getting a little low and I just wanted to mix it up a little bit. As I see him go for the Hydro Pump. And so I see him doing this and I'm thinking he's Scarf. And so I just wanted to stay in and go for the Nature's Madness in case he switched into Ferrothorn or switched into Sylveon or whatever. But he goes for the Gunk Shot right here and it's a big mistake on my part because I could have probably just switched into Heatran knowing he wouldn't go for the Hydro Pump again just to scout for the Gunk Shot. But that was my mistake. I thought he was Scarfed as he transforms. I go into Terrakion to scare him out because to show him that could be Scarfed as I just double out into Greninja predicting anything else to want to come in. So he does switch into Sylveon. This is a great opportunity to set up some more hazards for me as my 2 Scarf Mons could potentially win the game later in the game. As I reveal the HV Fire right here as he sets up the rocks. Now here, I didn't really want to kill him because if I went for the HP Fire and he stays in, he just goes to Ash Greninja and gets another kill. Because my Greninja is Fire type and the Ash Greninja is faster than me. And so I just wanted to go for another set of spikes. I figured the other layer of spikes would be really good for Scarf Terrakion, Scarf Heatran in the end. As he goes to the Power Whip and predicts that probably and just knocks me out, which I'm fine with. I expected to die there. So I'm going to my Drapion, I go for the Fire Fang, it knocks him out. As I see he's double Rocky Helmet, which is really interesting. So he goes into Zygarde. I go into my RC's Ghost, physically defensive RC's Ghost. He goes for 1,000 arrows, and this is a good time to recover because I'm really low. And he reveals a Dragon Dance, which I wasn't expecting really. Like I said earlier, I thought it was going to be Subcoil or something like that. I knew he had the Z move because the Drapion knockoff earlier didn't knock off anything. Figured you'd just go for the Z move right here as I recover. But he shows the Dragon Dance, which is really scary. So I thought I was going to die here, but he reveals the Corkscrew Trash, probably for Bulu, which is good for me because I can just kill him right there. Even though Terrakion probably could have revenged him. As I go into Terrakion right here on the double down, go for the close combat, and now I know that if my calc is right, since I calced earlier that he possibly has no special attack investment, Terrakion would live a Water Shuriken without the defense or the special defense drop. So I would go knock out Sock here, go sack something to Ash Greninja, go switching back to Terrakion in close combat. As I go and try to sack Heatran to the Water Shuriken, I knew two Water Shurikens would knock him out. As I go into Terrakion, I should live this. And then 1, 2, 3, I don't live for some reason. I might have miscalced earlier, but I was supposed to live that with around 4%, 5% or so. And if I did live, I was going to close combat, knock him out, knock out the Sylveon, and go to Drapion a Poison Jab to win the game. But his Water Shuriken knocks me out, and that's a good game. 2-0 to Mike. Really good game here. I'm 3-2 now, but that's okay because I got a couple of ideas for when we potentially will face again in playoffs. So good game to Mike, and I'll see y'all later.